Welcome back to the Irish Bandit channel, or if you're new here, welcome to the channel. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This time around on the channel, we are going to be continuing on with my 5 favorite episodes of certain seasons of Criminal Minds. Well, not certain seasons, every season, but either way, we are looking at season 3 today and my 5 favorite episodes. Just a little bit of backstory for this season. This would be the next year that a big cast shakeup would happen. In season 2, we lost Lola Glaudini and she was replaced by Paget Brewster. This season, we lost Mandy Patinkin. This was a big thing that happened because he exited the show just before season 3 was about to begin. He only appeared in 2 episodes. From what I understand, for the second episode that he was in, it was actually the second episode of season 3, he actually was filmed by an entirely different crew because the original crew did not want to work with him because of the way he exited the show. Now, he states that he was just getting burned out by the violence that was happening on the show, but I think it's kind of expected with a show like this. Like, I don't want to throw any shade towards Mandy Patinkin because he's such a fantastic actor. He did such a great job in this role, but you kind of knew what you were signing on for when you signed on for the role of Jason Gideon. But his reasonings were valid. It does get a little dark, a little violent at times, but I think the outcome of every episode, when they finally capture somebody, capture the unsub, I think that makes up for it. Okay, totally doesn't justify all the violence, but you have the good overcome the evil. But he didn't feel right doing it. He went on to be in Homeland, and I think he's doing the convention scene now with a bunch of the actors from Princess Bride, which I would love to see. Almost got to meet Carrie Elwes this year, but that's a different story. You know that if you saw my Saskatoon Expo videos. Either way, we are looking at season 3 of Criminal Minds and my 5 favorite episodes, and we're going to jump right into it, talk about my 5th favorite episode. This has one of the best guest stars that has been on Criminal Minds. Such a compelling story, and I would have loved the ending quote if it wasn't coming from a noted racist. Coming in at number 5, True Night. Going up the season 3 box set, when we look at the synopsis for the episode, the BAU travels to Los Angeles to investigate gang-related killings that might possibly involve a famous comic book artist who is spiraling out of control. Like I said, I think this has one of the best guest stars in it, with Frankie Muniz, best known for his role as Malcolm in Malcolm in the Middle and Agent Cody Banks. He plays a out-of-control comic book artist who is working on something new called True Night, and it is violent and gory, but it also may be the key to unlocking a series of unsolved murders around the LA area. What I loved about this episode was that not only did it involve comic books, something I absolutely love, but they spend a lot less time with the BAU and more time with Johnny, the character Frankie Muniz plays, who is the unsub in this situation. Because as the whole thing unravels, you find out that what Johnny is drawing in the panels is actually what he has done to a lot of people who have wronged him in something that happened to his fiance and their unborn child. It was just heart-wrenching to find out his motivations behind what happened, and was just a total moment you could, I guess you could kind of see yourself in if you're Johnny. But it's wonderfully acted by Frankie Muniz. Everybody just gives it their all in this episode, especially you see stuff between Rossi and Johnny, and it's just, wow. So amazing, so good. A definite must-watch of an episode. Coming in at number 4 is the season 3 finale. This was just, the cliffhanger to this just kind of left me for an entire summer wondering what happened. Coming in at number 4, Lo-Fi. The BAU team travels to New York City to catch a serial killer, but then learns there may be more than one. Also, Agent Giraud announces she's pregnant. Now, they set up something earlier in the season with, let me take a look here. Which episode was that? Yes. 3 episodes before that, with the episode In Heat, they established the relationship between JJ and Will, who they met in season 2. What a fantastic romance that was. And then we find out in this episode, JJ's pregnant. So, but everything around this with with the story around it being a possible terror cell, it was just wow. And then the cliffhanger getting out of that season when the SUV blows up, we didn't know at that point who was in the SUV. I'm not going to say anything for spoiler reasons, but we'll talk about it when I talk about season 4, maybe, if the season 4 premiere happens to end up on my top 5. It might not. That was a pretty long season. Season 3 was kind of shortened to 20 episodes because of the writer's strike of that year, but they kind of made up for it with season 4, making it like double length. Like, you should see the number of DVDs in this set. There's like 7 DVDs. So there were a lot of episodes and they made up for it that season. But yeah, the lo-fi episode, just a fantastically acted episode from everyone involved. I think that also has a personal favorite actor of mine, character actor. He was like in one of the Lethal Weapon movies. He was heavily featured in the series Rescue Me, named Jack McGee. Just great actor. So it is definitely one to check out. It's a great episode. Coming in at number 3 is an episode that personally left me on the edge of my seat the entire time. And the episode that preceded it was just, whoa, freaky as all hell. But this episode is about a character near and dear to my heart. I've said time and time again in these videos how much I love this character. She is my favorite character on the show. This was a Garcia-centered episode. Coming in at number 3, Penelope. As Garcia fights for her life, the search for her attacker leads the others to believe her assailant could be in law enforcement and knew of her particular job. This was like one of the first Garcia episodes, if not the first Garcia-centered episode. The way it left off in the previous episode, Lucky, which, if I ever talk about my favorite guest stars in Criminal Minds, I'm definitely going to have to talk about Jamie Kennedy as Floyd Phelan. He creeped me all the hell out in that episode, but unfortunately that one didn't make my list. But this one did. In everything around that episode too, Garcia meets somebody at a coffee shop. She fixes his computer. He invites her out to dinner. When they come back to her place, he winds up shooting her point blank and almost kills her, which leads into the next episode where she's trying to figure out, they're trying to figure out who this guy is, and you find out he's actually a police officer with a hero complex, and just leads to an amazing final few moments that just leave you breathless and leave JJ as a hero, which I always kind of figured she was, but JJ just cements her badass status in that episode. Wonderfully acted by everybody, especially Kirsten Vangsness, who always does an amazing job as Garcia. She's just the light in this show amid all the dark and yuck. And like I said, Garcia is my favorite character. The banter between her and Morgan is just, you can't get enough of it. And it was kind of sorely missing after Shamar Moore left the series. But a fantastic, wonderful episode. Great character development from everybody, especially Garcia in this episode. And it was One of the times earlier in the season when I was still kind of on the fence about Rossi, but when he was really getting in Garcia's face, I was like, you back off, dude. You leave her alone. But when we find out what's everything that's going on with Rossi and what he has to go through, well, we're going to talk about that episode next, because coming in at number 2 is a great episode because it's dealing with two stories and does a really good job of telling them both. Because on one hand, you have Hotch and Reed going to talk with an inmate on death row, where you have Rossi and the rest of the team trying to figure out a case 25 years in Rossi's past. Coming in at number 2, Damaged. While Hotch and Reed interview death row inmate, Rossi continues his investigation into two unsolved murders that have plagued him for 20 years. Oh, just the way they tell both stories is just incredible. Because at the same time, where you have the Hotch and Reed story, Hotch is going through a divorce from Haley. So you have that as well, because that's really been weighing heavy on Hotch for most of this season, even into season 2. Then you have Reed asking him if he's okay. Then you have everything going on with the inmate, Chester, I think his name is. Oh, I know the actor. He played Jury in a couple episodes of Sons of Anarchy. He was just fantastic as the death row inmate in this episode. And I love this one point where he's just trying to provoke Hotch, saying that, my last big thing is I'm going to get to kill 2 federal agents when the guards are out on lunch break or between shifts or something. And then Hotch is like, your only thing is that you preyed on people who were bigger, who were smaller, who couldn't defend themselves. How are you going to handle someone who can actually defend himself? You see Hotch taking off his jacket, taking off his tie. He was ready to throw down with this dude. And then you have Reed with all his smarts coming in, distracting Chester long enough for the guards to come back so they can leave. It was really well done. And then on the other side, you have Rossi wrestling with his demons from a 20-year-old case that has gone unsolved. And the way that was done so well, like when you get to the resolution scene of this episode, is really, really heartbreaking when you find out what really happened to the parents of these 3 kids. And it doesn't make it right, but you kind of feel for the unsub in this situation. And just, he's big, he's strong, he's slow. He doesn't really know what he's doing and had his father vouching for him the whole time. So, and when you hear his father yelling out, just stay down, Joey, just stay down. It's really heartbreaking. Like, I really love those emotional moments that Criminal Minds has. You can really feel it. It's really palpable, and it's just something they excelled at for their entire 15-season run. But this is a great, great episode. Just, again, well acted by everyone, especially the guest stars that they brought in. Because, again, I saw the guy that played Chester in a couple episodes of Sons of Anarchy, and the head of the carnival, I saw him in an episode of My Name is Earl. So he can do the really dramatic stuff, and he can do the funny stuff as well. But, everyone just brought a new dimension to that episode, and it was just so well done. I especially love the warden in the Hotch and Reed storyline. Oh, I'm a bit of a crime buff myself. Well, you're a warden. Don't you think you get enough of that being at a penitentiary the whole time? I don't know. I just thought that was a nice little twist. So here we are, my favorite episode. Before we do that, let's get into a few episodes that didn't make the list, but still were really, really fantastic in their own right. Birthright was a great episode. The team suspects the son of a serial killer is behind the mutilation murders of young women, so they bring in his father's original abductee to help find him. Limelight, the disturbing contents of self-storage unit, brings the team to Philadelphia, where an ambitious female agent, a fan of Rossi's, tries to take over the case, played by Janet Roth, or Andrea Roth, who played Janet on Rescue Me, talking about Rescue Me again. Elephant's Memory. Oh, that one. If I was doing a top 10, this would be in my top six because there were only 20 episodes of this episode of this season. But that would be like number six. That I kind of resonated with Reed and the unsub in this episode so well because of my upbringing and being bullied in school myself. I didn't go as far as the unsub in this episode, but yeah, you kind of feel for both characters, for the unsub and for Reed in this episode, and it was just so well done and amazing use of when the man comes around and hurt by Johnny Cash. Just you gotta love any episode, any show that uses Johnny Cash, especially his American recordings. You know, those were pure perfection. Maybe one time sometime soon, I'll talk about the Johnny Cash American records, but that'll be somewhere down the line. Got a few more things coming up before we talk about that. But my favorite episode of season 3 has got to be the final full episode that Mandy Patinkin was in. It was the season 2 premiere, Doubt. The team investigates a killer who is targeting women at a college. But after a body is found while their suspect is in custody, the agents questions their methods. This was such a great way to bring back the series after the summer break. It was just the edge of your seat thing that they needed, and helped by the fact that this would be Mandy Patinkin's final full episode. I say full episode because in the next episode, he only appeared for like 5 minutes at the very end. He still gets an opening credit, but he only appears for like 5 minutes at the end after Reed finds the letter he leaves him. But just the way it ends, everybody, especially Gideon, doubting their skills as a BAU agent. The case itself was just one of young co-eds being murdered on campus, and then just the story around that was just wow. Like you felt really bad for the BAU in this one because this essentially feels like they lost one. They don't, of course, they wouldn't tally wins and losses, of course, but that episode felt like a loss for the team because their unsub was murdered and someone who took the rap for murder while he was in custody murdered herself as well. So it was just heavy and made you just feel for the team. They should have had that one, but they didn't. And then they started thinking, oh, maybe he isn't the guy. But they never really tell you if he was the unsub or not. I think he was, but just the way it all came about, because they never mentioned anything about it again for the entire run of the series. But I think he was the unsub. But it kind of leaves you with that doubt. But well acted, especially for Mandy Patinkin's final episode, and everyone just, again, giving it their all. But they gave it their all every episode, so it's going to be a repeating phrase that I say when I do these top 5 countdowns. But Doubt is far and away my favorite episode of season 2, and probably one of my top 10 favorite episodes of all time of Criminal Minds. I think when I'm finished season 15, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do like a top 10 favorite episodes. I'll break that up into 2 parts, but we'll see when that comes around, because I've still got like I haven't even started season 4 yet, let's be honest. I'm still last episode I watched, nope, that was disc 1 and 2. I need disc 5. Last episode I watched was In Heat, so I'm probably going to finish sometime this week and start in season 4. So don't expect season 4 top 5 anytime soon, maybe near the end of August. So, but we'll see what happens, because it is, like I said, it is a long one, and I need, of course, I need a refresher to remember what all happened in season 4. I do know one thing that happened in season 4, and oh my god, that a couple things that happened in season 4. But yeah, they'll be coming probably near closer to the end of August, but it'll be worth the wait, I guarantee. But what do you guys think? What is your favorite season 3 episode, season 3 episode of Criminal Minds? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd really love to hear your opinion. While you're down there, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. In the description, you're going to see all the ways you can help support this channel on social media and financially. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but oh well. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Reddit. Okay, for the past few videos, I've kind of confused Reddit with Redbubble, even though I have them both. Reddit, you can help support the channel by picking up your Irish Bandit merchandise at my Redbubble store. Any items you can think of are there. And you can also pre-order my very first novel, Shade of Falling, at the Amazon link in my Linktree link. Go check it out. Help support this channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, tap the bell and you'll be notified whenever a brand new video goes live. I will be back on Thursday talking about everything that I want to see in season 5 of my favorite TV show, Criminal Minds. Nope. In my favorite TV show, Cobra Kai. There we go. Season 5 of Criminal Minds already been long gone. Series is wrapped. I just had a brain fart there. But either way, video's almost done anyhow. I don't care. Talking about what I want to see in season 5 of Cobra Kai. And then next week, I'm going to have a special 2-part video coming up talking about my 10 favorite characters from movies and TVs. I guarantee you, Garcia appears on that list. Where? I'm not entirely sure yet because I still got to make the list. But I mean, I have the list, but I just need to rank them like 1 through 10 or 10 through 1 or whatever. I'm having a hard time trying to pick who my number 1 favorite character is. I got it down to 3, but they're all fantastic characters in their own rights. So you'll find out when I do. No, I'm going to work on the list, and then I'll have those 2 videos out for you next week. Until Thursday, have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you again very, very soon.